progress.
Dzień dobry.
Zastrzeżenie. Informacje i materiały edukacyjne zawarte w niniejszym dokumencie mają na celu promowanie ogólnego zrozumienia i dialogu na temat przetwarzania informacji przez GANS. Nie są one przeznaczone ani nie powinny być traktowane jako substytut klinicznego szkolenia, doświadczenia lub osądu profesjonalisty w dziedzinie opieki zdrowotnej. Dla pacjentów i osób indywidualnych informacje te nie zastępują profesjonalnej porady medycznej, terapeutycznej ani opieki zdrowotnej. Nie mogą one być podstawą do podejmowania decyzji dotyczących leków ani innych metod leczenia. Czytelnicy, widzowie i słuchacze powinni zawsze skonsultować się ze swoim lekarzem, a w poważnych przypadkach natychmiast szukać pomocy u służb ratunkowych. Informacje dotyczące recept, procedur oraz stosowania urządzeń medycznych powinny być wykorzystywane wyłącznie przez odpowiednio przeszkolony i certyfikowany personel medyczny. Zastrzegamy sobie wszelkie gwarancje, zarówno wyraźne, jak i domniemane, w tym domniemanie gwarancje przydatności handlowej lub przydatności do określonego celu. Informacje są udostępniane tak, jak są i uważa się je za dokładne w momencie publikacji. Jednak to odbiorca jest odpowiedzialny za ocenę ich prawdziwości. Każdy przedstawiony przypadek dotyczy wyłącznie osoby, która go doświadczyła i nie ma zastosowania do innych osób. Każda osoba mająca problemy zdrowotne powinna zasięgnąć profesjonalnej porady medycznej i skonsultować swoje leczenie z lekarzem. Opisane tutaj procesy balansowania plazmy są naturalnym procesem wspierającym organizm, ale nie zastępują porady lekarskiej ani terapii, którym dana osoba już podlega. Zastrzeżenie. To jest moje prywatne zastrzeżenie, w którym chcę ująć parę wątków. Nie jestem przedstawicielem Fundacji Keshe, a jedynie poszukiwaczem wiedzy, tak jak każdy z nas. W żaden sposób, prowadząc ten program, nie jestem związany z Fundacją Keshe, nie występuję w jej imieniu. Jestem po prostu gospodarzem samego spotkania, z zamiłowania i chęci podzielenia się tak wielką wiedzą i jej pięknem, które każdy z nas posiada na tak wiele różnych sposobów. Wszelkie tłumaczenia są naszą interpretacją tego, co rozumiemy z wątków tłumaczonych. I jakakolwiek moja prywatna działalność jest jedynie moją osobistą formą zrozumienia wiedzy dzielonej przez Fundację Keshe i nie ma, jak i nie powinna mieć żadnego wpływu na interpretację Twoją lub działalność samej fundacji. Jeżeli wypowiadam się w tych nagraniach, są to wypowiedzi oparte o moje zrozumienie, osobiste doświadczenie, co nie znaczy, że MT Keshe miał to samo na myśli podczas nauczania. Dziękuję Wam za Waszą interpretację i zachęcam Was do wypowiedzenia jej na tak wiele różnych sposobów podczas tego spotkania. Witam moi drodzy na kolejnym spotkaniu polskich poszukiwaczy wiedzy Fundacji Keshe. Dzisiaj mamy 1 czerwca 2025 roku. Bardzo ciekawa data dla nas wszystkich z różnych kątów i z różnych perspektyw. Dzisiaj zajmiemy się 591 warsztatem poszukiwaczy wiedzy w wersji tłumaczonej i do czytania. A więc zrobimy sobie to tak samo jak w zeszłym tygodniu do godziny 21. Przepraszam. Gdzieś do około godziny 21 będziemy puszczać. Zrobimy sobie 5 minut przerwy gdzieś w tych granicach i później puścimy sobie kolejną część. Także bez dalszej zwłoki zapraszam wszystkich do lekcji.
Hello again, we're back at the 591st Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, May 22nd. And because it's the second part,
Chyba mi się włączyła druga część. Poczekajcie, zaraz podzielę, żeby była pierwsza część.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good day to you as usual, wherever and whenever you listen to this series of knowledge seekers by Keshe Foundation Spiritual Institute. We welcome you back and we try to see what we can learn together about the space of time and time in a space. In the past few weeks, as we endeavor to understand time, what creates time and what is the essence of time. A number of what are called puzzles in the process of creation becomes very clear. For example, is the time being on Mars is the same as the time being here on this planet? We calculate our days according to the time of the Earth. So many hours makes one day. But Mars or Jupiter or another star has a different time position than us. How do we match up? How do we gain time to be the same time as the position of departure or arrival? On the planet Earth, when we travel from one line, we decided to be the line of horizon, to the other, we are back or forward by a few hours. How do we adjust the time in a space? And how do we arrive in the passage of time in that place, not 1,000 years before or another 1,000 years ahead, but today's time, on Earth, equal time? If you ever studied cosmology, you will see that planet Earth is not the only one with a slight angle from its vertical position. It creates the seasons, it creates its time of horizon, and the rest of it. Out of number of planetary system in the solar system, only one or two are near vertical. The rest all have an angle. They have a position of angle. And this position of angle decides a lot of things in respect to the what we call the energy position and position. What is such a magnetic field on Earth with its some degree of what we call deviation? It will be totally different than in Venus, which is going the opposite direction, and its days are very different. For example, Saturn has an inclination of 26 degrees from the vertical. You look at the Uranus, is more or less 90-100 degrees. When we consider going, for example, from Earth to Mars, Mars is the closest to us in the inclination of the angle. But Mars has very similar, what we call time as with us, which is the closest to us. We run about 24 hours. Mars is about 24 hours. But how come Mars does not sustain life? We don't see life on it. And how can we transfer time from one planet to another, from one star to another, from one galaxy to another? In the coming time, when we start what we call traveling in different dimension, which brings us to time of zero, we can change the magnetic field strength of the position. That it will bring the time to the place and position of the creator. What this means, it means if we manage to reach the absolute zero, in a way gravitational than magnetical, then we should be able to travel in the time of zero, time start of the universe. Which means we manage to get on the line of the expansion of the universe, and if we do the same, it will be the unicos. In the future, mankind will not travel with UFOs, that's for sure. It's too slow. Mankind will not travel by transmutation. It is slow compared to travel in time. What does this mean? This means that once our knowledge reaches the maturity of the place, position, and position, magnetic gravitational field, direction and interaction with totality of the universal field, man can travel the time into the time of the creation. And in that process, man should be able to see the whole process of the expansion, creation of the universe, if man understands position and position of every field strength in the dimension of the interaction with this environment. In the coming time, as we develop technologies, as we develop systems to replicate the time, man will come to understand one thing. Would time carry the impression of the emotion of the man? Because that emotion makes the man in a dimension of position and position. One of the main or cornerstones of the time to travel or travel in time will be the essence of understanding of the emotion, not even the soul of the man, but the emotion of the soul. That the time with the emotion creates the place, creates the position, and creates the condition of position. Man can travel in the position of a stone, listen in the voice of the soul of the stone to what we call the position, what is happening, and then return back in position and time to be in time for confirmation of existence. In the future, mankind will not travel, mankind will not consider the method, the ways that we have chosen to live, to exist, and then the life becomes immortal. Immortality won't be 1,000 years. If the man can travel into the time of the existence, knows the knowledge, then the man will live eternity in the lifetime of the universe. In that time, there is no losses, and that time there is no gains in the direction of the field of the motion of the existence. Today's understanding of time by man has created itself a dilemma for man to see the truth about the creation, the time of creation, the way that the whole world of creation was created. In so many ways, if we expand the knowledge of the creation of the position and then understand the creation of the place, the man can decide on position of the man. Once you create the time and understand the game of time is the order of magnitude of the collective fields of the all three in all the dimensions of the field strength, then man can change the time and create a position or the place. In transmutation systems, we play with one factor of the time. And once man can play with all three factors, man will find the eternal life. The true understanding of the creation, and even one can go through the what we call universal condition of reversing the whole structure of the what we call life cycle. Darwin speaks about mutation in the structure of the DNA of the man. We call evolution. If man can understand the evolution in time, man will see the whole progress of the creation of the universe. In a way, man needs to go in time of what we call the creation of the black hole, the essence of the creation of the creator. Today's teaching is not for those who don't understand. Today's teaching needs thousands of years to be understood. And we teach for that day. As man unravels more and more the secrets of the position, the magnetic field, the strength of life, in every dimension of creation, in the essence of interaction, and understanding of the totality. Then it comes for us to further understand. We have the time we chose of the earthly time. What is the position of our solar system time? We have never considered. We have always looked at where we live and what we are concerned about. We have a horizon. Where is the horizon of our sun? We have never endeavored to understand this because our knowledge is so self-centered on this planet. Then when the knowledge seekers of the future understand the process, the understanding of totality, then it becomes very interesting. What this means, I'm trying to bring you to understand. We have the sunrise of our planet. It creates a time for us according to our system. We always considered how long it takes our planet to rotate around our sun. We always measured the sunrise or the speed of rotation from one point to another of different planets and their moons on this solar system. But what is the time? What is the horizon line for our star? How long does it take for it to change dimension in respect to its black hole, the central position of its galaxy? When we travel the time, we have to consider that time, as we are not in the time of the Earth, but we are in time of the solar system. Then we have to add another dimension to create the dimension of field strength of the galaxy in respect to the center, where is the horizon on our galaxy in respect to the center of point. Then you understand, to create a dimension of the position and the place with the creator needs multitude of what we call magnetic field strength in respect to the time of the planet, the galaxy, the solar system, and even the totality of the black hole itself, the center point itself. As this center point itself has a horizon in respect to the unicos. Creating time to travel the span of the universe is different than the time on this planet, as we have to consider different order of magnitudes of the magnetic field and gravitational field of the solar system, and not only of the planet. What this means, if you go back, for example, to the teaching of the years ago, when we used to deal with the multi-core systems, each core has to create the time magnetic fields of the Earth, the solar system, another core, then the galaxy, another core, and then. Then you understand, to create, to travel the span of time, to see the Creator, to be part of the creation, needs full understanding of the magnetic field, the spectrum of the creation. One day in the future, man will understand that in his soul, all these dimensions, magnetic field strength exist. And if he manages to tap into this, man can travel the span of the universe in totality of the time of the creation. This is how you travel in your dreams. This is how you travel, going to different parts of the universe, going into interaction with other things, and you still haven't realized that the capability and the power of the brain of the man within the structure of it, which can confine and hold the soul of the man within it. Then it comes to ask one question. How shall we create the time in dimension and a position of the Creator? In the coming time, when the man's knowledge reaches to understand the full spectrum of the gravitational magnetic field of the plasma in a cosmic ray level, man will start unraveling the secrets of the creation in a much deeper way, in a much fundamental way, and in totality of understanding the process of the creation. We lay down the fundamental understanding. We try to understand the totality of the structure. And then we try to go further to understand the structure of the creation. And one cannot reach this understanding till man understands the position, and the place are all dictated by the collection of the fields of the totality of the times of the universe, according to their magnetic field strength. In the coming time, when we can change any factor of the magnetic fields of any of the places, the position or the possession, in conjunction with the change in one of the factors of the time, man will be able to travel the universe according to the wish of the man through the strength of the soul of the man. Man has that capability in his soul. Man, or any plasma which has intelligence of the emotion, has the capability to create time. We have accepted that we create time in our head, in our brain, in our soul, that we call it the morning, where we accepted freely. Morning for me is different morning than somebody else's in another position. But now we have to accept the morning for me is different than the creatures of the soul of the universe. What does this mean? In a very subtle way, we are trying to introduce you to understanding of the other lives in other dimensions across the universe, where they live, they exist due to different time in gravitational magnetic field strength, and not of the man's amino acid plasma of the life. That's man. in the recent past has found out through technological development that even life exists in the deepest part of the ocean, in the deepest holes ever dug in the, what we call the solid part of this planet. The same way life exists in the universe, thriving, the same process, understanding the creation and the creator in their own time, in their own place, in their magnetic field, the strength of their position and the position. Some men in the past have managed to free float, free travel the span of the universe by creating the dimension of the full spectrum of the creation. And that is so easy that once one man understands, man gains access to the knowledge of the universe and then become wise in true understanding of the creation. But the most important part is that that condition does not need no language, as one understand, gets enlightened by the knowledge of the creation through essence of the emotion and not by dimension of physicality of the time, place, position and position. I made man in the image of myself, and I possess the full spectrum. Why not the soul of the man? Where man exists through my soul as I exist through the soul of the man. I am the beginning and I am the end. But the end is the beginning of the end. Which means all the fields of the time, place and position exist within the structure of the soul of the man, and if man understands it, man can live the way the same as the creator. Man shall be the beginning, man shall be the end. And at the same time, man will be strong enough to understand how the life will have different meaning in different times as man travels into it. It's not anymore what is going to be in 1,000 years on earth. It's more like what is going to be next second in another position in the universe. This is what happens to the soul of the man at the point of departure from the, what I call, cage of the physicality of the man. Man travels in time to reach the time of his start. Then, if one understands this, one be able to create that condition to measure the field, the strength of the possession of the soul of the man, man easily can find the time where the soul of the man reaches its destination, the place and the position. Then this puts an end to physical reincarnation, but incarnation will be in the essence of the fields of the soul of the man, in the dimension of the existence of the soul of the creator, where the emotion of the creator will dictate the emotion of the soul of the man. Emotion exists when two plasma interact. The soul of the man, in possessing the totality spectrum of the fields of the universe, will carry and possess the emotion of the creator within it, which is the next step in understanding the process of the creation. These knowledges and what is taught today is not in the book of the man, as man has never understood the truth about the process of creation. This is the job of us as the universal teacher, to open the eye of the man to the knowledge of the creation in a true way, where the man independently has to investigate and develop the fields within it to understand the process of the creation and its creator. There is no prophecy. It's only you who have to understand the strength of the what we call, what you gathered in your soul, for where it shall go. Would you like the time and destination, the place and the what we call position of it? Would you like to be within the cell of a animal or creature, or to be the creator of that dimension? And secondly, how can you change your position in respect to the time of the creation, where then the position and the place become irrelevant, that the time shorter to the creator becomes the essence of the creation of the heaven for man. Zero time means to be within. And when you have time, it means to be away from. And then, once you can measure that time, it puts you in a position to understand the true position of yourself in respect to the place you manifested, in respect to the lover of the creator, which is this creator itself. Maybe, as I said before, you'll find out not too late in the very near future where shall be my soul, in which time, place, position and possession, and is this where it's supposed to be, and is this the purpose of my life? The creation of the time closer to zero, which becomes and brings you to the creator, is the promised heaven. If you understood this and go back to the teaching of the past, it dictates the position and at the same time the place. When the place, the time, the position and the position reaches more or less zero, which is totality of generosity of giving, then you are within the time of the creator. Then you feel the whole emotion of the creation and you become enlightened, the whole process of creation for this universe and not the universe. As at that time, man needs to understand the totality of the gravitational magnetic fields of the cosmic rays of the creator, which has created to the creator of the man. This is a big puzzle for man to unravel, but we had to lay down the knowledge that the man in the future has a reference to build on and to understand. Go for a break and we come back and try to answer. But try to listen to the teaching of today, and through it there is a message how you can elevate your soul and how to reach to that point of zero where you become part of the creator. And if you have not understood in the future, your future generations might understand the teaching of today. Find the horizon of the sun, then you have managed to move into the next step, and not just the horizon of man on this planet. Take us for a break and we come back.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. All right, we're at the midway point of our 591st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. In the second half, folks here in the Zoom can raise their virtual hand and we can allow your microphone to open so that you can speak. and others in the YouTube can put questions in the chat, and people can also put questions in the Q&A here in the Zoom or in the chat as well. Okay, be back shortly.
Water is the foundation of our life. It is
No dobrze, moi drodzy, zróbmy sobie tutaj 5 minut przerwy. Tu się akurat troszeczkę szybciej skończyło, więc wracamy 20:47, 48 powiedzmy i wtedy polecimy z dalszą częścią czytania. Dobrze, moi drodzy, to mamy już 20:48, czyli możemy zacząć z drugą częścią.
But generally speaking, he has something, in fact, probably a few things he'd like to say first. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much. The first thing for us to remind knowledge seekers, the next Friday session of what we call the soul travel with the captains will be slightly different than
Hello again, we're back at the 591st Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, May 22nd. And because it's the second part, as I explained, we are able to ask some questions of Mr. Keshe. But generally speaking, he has something, in fact, probably a few things he'd like to say first. So please go ahead.
Thank you very much. The first thing for us to remind knowledge seekers, the next Friday session of what we call the soul travel with the captains will be slightly different than all the sessions we had before. We will bring into play a dimension of magnetic field, which brings into play for the first time the dimension of time. We have developed the first fundamental systems for traveling the time, and there'll be the test of it. And to make the matter more complicated for you knowledge seekers who join this session, is that before you knew who's your captain, this time your captains are numbered, and you are not aware of who they are, what their thoughts are, and so you connect with them through the connection of the field of the soul. You don't choose them by name. You choose by how you're connected and how you feel you're connected to them, through the soul. And this is, in a way, creating the time of trust. It's very much emotion interaction between the two souls, which creates, in the interaction of one becoming the soul and one becoming the soul of physicality, the dimension manifestation of the physicality in where the soul takes the soul of physicality. And this is what we would like to observe, that the next set of the system developed allows the dimension of the carrying multitude of souls in time together in the dimension direction. So if you've never been a passenger before, never been through this series, join it and see how you travel the time and how your soul travels with the emotion of the soul, which is the captain. That's how the system works. Up to now is your soul and the soul of physicality. Now your soul becomes the soul of physicality in respect to the soul of the captain. Your soul of physicality chooses, and then the dimension of the place to manifest itself, the position. In the coming weeks, we will follow the same pattern as what we did in Beijing. We will announce the presentation of the exhibition of the production of the material or one of the other systems of the what we call Keshe Foundation under the banner of the Makre in one of the major capitals around the world, which means we bring a new dimension into the structure of the development and production of the new materials. That next session of exhibition will be manifestation, will be demonstration of another system which most probably has never been seen in public. Those of you who would like to be part of these exhibitions, as you've seen it in Beijing, you just need to turn up to see. And as we expand the operation of the market cooperation around the world in respect to demonstration of the technology, we try to bring a new dimension into play of the space technology and give man all opportunities to travel in any dimension and any direction. So in the next few weeks, we will announce the next exhibition in one of the major capitals for demonstration of another part of this technology, which will be very fundamental and will be in the next process of the showing of the power of the new technology. We endeavor to show new systems that has never been seen, and then raise the next question to understanding of the next process and technological development of the science. Trying to organize the next exhibition most probably will be in Berlin or in Paris. In one of the two capitals, we will show what we call the next steps in the technological development, which will bring the change to the continent. As we know, Germany is suffering heavily with the lack of energy in the process which has happened in the past few years, and the economy is in the downfall. And the same goes with the French, which are a problem. They have problem with the nuclear industry and power production. Therefore, I think some of you can guess what will be on the card to boost the economy and the technological development in these two nations. If there are any questions, please let us know and then we'll try to answer.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thought we had a hand up here. Don't see any hands up at this point. So I do remind people you can put up your virtual hand in Zoom, and then we can allow your microphone to be open. But we do have a number of questions in the Q&A and in the chat. Okay, so let's start out with first question in the Q&A from Magic in who says, "Hi, good morning for everyone. Last time was explained that we need to have a triangle of factors." And he says power, position, and possession. Is possible to explain what that is, and how can we change these factors? Thank you. So he's asking for more explanation about that triangle of factors, as he says.
The whole of the world of creation is based by the interaction of the field, what we call cosmic rays in different strength. And once man masters this knowledge, man will master all four, more or less: the position, the place, and the time. The biggest problem is how to increase the field strength of the plasma of the cosmic rays. This knowledge, in the matter state, we use higher voltage current and everything else to change the magnetic field, the strength of the ion. But in the world of cosmic rays, it depends on the field radiation, which this is created by different condition in interaction. And this is how it's done. You have to understand the field interaction and feel the strength and how to elevate or reduce the magnetic field, the strength of a field, a ray of magnet or magnetic field in the cosmic ray level. The reason I explained the angle of inclination of the Earth planetary system, the Earth was the sun, but the solar system, planetary systems, it was for that reason. And if we look at the structure of the galaxies, they're not all like a flat liner in respect to the center. They all have different angles, different horizon, different trajectories in respect to the center of the universe, which that itself dictates the operation of the stars and what we call planetary system within them. We are not isolated. Our soul is not isolated. Our soul is not isolated from the what we call universal cosmic rays. We are part of it. Our soul interacts with the what we call the fields of the central line of the creator, with the galaxy central line, with solar central line, and the planetary central line, and then it ends up to be with us. We are children of many interactions, cosmic rays. And in fact, we do not exist in another dimension of time. We exist in this dimension of time because the field interaction of the plasmas, what we call the amino acid, in this position with this angle leads to manifestation of physicality, what we call the man. If you take the man in a dimension of the fields and take him on the Mars, it will not exist in this shape or form. Up to now, when we travel to the moon or the Mars or whatever, we carry the matter field, the strength of this solar system. That's why we can ship a robot from here to there. But if you want to truly travel in the field dimension of the creation of the solar system, travel in time. And then you will see there is no need for manifestation of the matter state in the condition of existence of the field, place, and position. We are visible. We see the visible part of this universe and ourselves because of the spectrum which is open to us to observe. If you go deeper in understanding, we are like a field within the solid structure of the brain of the man. The universe is solid. Solid by the interaction of the fields of cosmic rays. If man manages to see the full spectrum of the gravitational magnetic field of the universe, they'll find out it's trapped within a solid state is not, as we see one star, what they tell us, 1,000,000 years away. How far is the cell of the emotion of happiness from one side of your brain to the other side? So many millions of light years away in the galaxy. And then you understand why we have created the new reactors. These reactors are the structure of the universe. And in time, when our scientists understand, we have created a time machine to meet with the creator of the matter. That's why they are solid state. That's why we keep on saying that there is no dynamic system. In reality, we see things moving, but in fact, we see what we call the change in the magnetic gravitational field strength of the galaxies, or we call the connection line. We don't see the others. The horizon from this planet, according to the line of interaction of magnetic field of it, filters everything else too. You go further up a few kilometers, you see the star combination changes. You go into the galaxy, the star you go out of this solar system, you see everything changes. The horizon, the sky is not this. We live in a solid, dense environment of place, position and time of the universe. And our universe, what we call, is not what it looks to be, as one free fall rotating billions of times around itself with billions of galaxies and the stars and everything else in it. It is due to inherent and the process of the interaction of the field, the same as brain of the man. Sits in a solid state dimension of interaction of the what we call totality of the field strength of the creation. Universe is not free flow. Universe is well maintained, well kept in a solid state of the field strength of the cosmic rays. Doesn't man function? Doesn't the brain of the man function without any dynamic structure? But we see the fields of the vibration and interaction of the fields of the emotion. So it's the same in the structure of the universe. We live in a condensed environment of the collective totality of the fields of the Creator, where itself sits within the center of. This is the same as our soul sits within the center of the brain of the man. He has a structure in respect to his central point of his unicos. It makes shape in respect to it, but at the same time holds within it the structure of totality of his own creation and created. Once man can make the systems that travels into time, man will see the whole universe. Well, we consider that we are rotating so freely in the structure of the solar system and we see galaxies. It's the same structure as the brain of the man, no difference. Then we have to understand the totality of the spectrum of the field of strength, the combination, the interaction, and the totality of the field of resistance created by them. Any other question?
Okay, we have a question in the Q&A from Swetoslav. Says, good afternoon, Mr. Keshe. Hello, Rick. Hello, everyone. I have two questions. One, a few lectures ago, you said that humans gave the creation and the creator emotions. If emotions are needed for transmission, how did the creator and other creatures transmute before them? Only with technology born from the plasma
The emotion has existed from the time of the creation. There is an emotion between an electron and a nucleus. Just 1 second, please. Excuse me, I have to, just 1 second, it's an important call I have to accept. Can you just take a break for a few seconds, please?
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. I thought that was a pretty important statement, that there's an emotion between an electron and a nucleus in the atom. And I think that's what Miranez went wow to in the chat. Is that true, Miranez? We were trying to address this question of how do we use time to travel, or how do we do time travel in the plasma reactor group yesterday. And I think Mr. Keshe has given us some clues in that regard. And it appears to be that the closer we get to zero time, the closer we get to the creator, to the source. Okay, well, anybody have any comments that they would like to say at this point? We do have some more questions, I realize, but Meredith mentions her wow is about the whole relation of everything in the universe, the fields and the cosmic rays. Ike mentions they interact.
Sorry about that. I do apologize. It's one of these things when you work with governments, we have to answer, otherwise it creates other problems. This is the functionality of the Keshe Foundation nowadays. We have to answer to world leaders, and they want answers on the spot. The structure of the universe always creates emotion. It's very simple. If you have a soul or central field energy of the full spectrum of its environment and interacts with another free flow plasma, what we call the spirit of the man, or the physical dimension of the fields of it, we call solar physicality. These two, we call the one the sun and one the, what we call the earth. The interaction of the two creates light. The interaction of the two, an internal interaction of the one with itself and the other one with itself, creates the storm, the wind, the turbulence in the field interaction within, between, and outside of both systems. Man always looks at the cloud created, the storms are created, and that's what it is. But in fact, if you really look into the interaction of the fields, what pulls the field from the center of the earth out as a field flow that leads to creation of even lightning? Isn't the lightning, the storm, the field flow part of the emotion of this planet? So the sun becomes the soul and the earth becomes the soul of physicality. And what we see within the environment of this planet becomes the behavior, the emotion of the planet. But we call it seasons, we call it the storms, we call it odd things, we call it global warming, but we never wanted to understand the reality and truth of what's happening. It's a process of creation. By denying it, we keep ourselves ignoring it. But now that we understand it, we can't ignore it. Every interaction of two plasma has consequences, and that consequences of it is called the emotion, depending on its gravitational magnetic field. This is why, if you go back to a few teachings before, I said the emotions and what we know now is nothing compared to when man understands the full process of creation. These emotions are not one, we call them the names: good, bad, happiness, blah, 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 blah. Then you deal with the bigger emotions, because you deal with a weaker cosmic race. If you look at the tides, the high tide and the low tide, and then you look how the structure of the tiny little thing, millions of kilometers or whatever, affects the totality of the physical dimension of this planet every day, then what is the interaction of the soul of the two between the planet and this moon? We have to redefine the emotion where what we see in the dimension of physicality. Then yes, everything, yes. And if you understand that we can create that field of emotion between any two positions, then it'll bring a lot. So what can we do? What do we understand? And then how do we define the strength of emotions? Any other question?
Well, we have question number 2 of Svetoslav's questions. Number 2 is: the Creator has a connection with every creation he created and can transmute into everything and everyone. This leads to the question: is this creator of everything our own soul? And it does something like simulations similar to a video game, and thus simultaneously experiences from different perspectives, the human, animal, tree, aliens in different dimensions. Thank you very much.
Pardon, can you repeat that?
Yeah, the creator has a connection with every creation he created and can transmute into everything and everyone. This leads to the question, is this creator of everything our own soul? And is it something, does it do something like simulations similar to a video game, and thus simultaneously experiences from different perspectives, the human, the animal, the tree, aliens in different dimensions? Thank you.
It should do, and it does. We transfer our emotion with word, with action, and the same goes with the creator. It receives the emotion, and through the fields of the emotion connects, reacts to everything which is within the existence. Any other questions?
A question from George, who says, Mr. Keshe, you mentioned in your teachings a few times the phrase strengthening of the soul. How could this be done? What are the paths or ways to do this on a daily basis as a human? Thank you for your answer.
I think your answer sits in your question. Read it again and understand your own question. I think you answered it yourself. You don't need me to answer it. Would you like to read it again?
Oh, you want me to read it? It says, Mr. Keshe, you mentioned in your teachings a few times the phrase strengthening of the soul. How could this be done? Which are the paths or ways to do this on a daily basis as a human?
The answer to you is, as a human, you look at it as a physical matter. Why don't you look at the human as an energy matter? I was sitting with some of the military and officials in the past few days. As you know, we're expanding the work of the Keshe Foundation. And I explained to these people who are part of the leaderships of the country, or running the country in a different way of shape themselves, was that I was explaining to them, don't bring me scientists who only understand the matter state. Bring me scientists who are open to understand the energy state of the matter. Then they can open frontiers. This is what you, or all of us, have got used to, looking at our physical existence. We never try to understand the energy existence of us. And once we master to understand the two and the connection between the two, then you have answered yourself. That's why I said the answer is, if you understand it, you answer it yourself. You look at me in my physical. What about me as an energy? We have chosen every name to deny it, but we use it to fit us when it suits us. We dream, we have aura. I had a premonition. It is deja vu. Every word to deny the power of the energy within us, we have used. So the answer sits with us, within us, because what can we do as a human body in physical dimension? Now we have to find the strength of it in the energy dimension and see how we can collaborate the two. That is where it sits. And I said, you answer yourself, but you're not aware of your own answer. Human body. We never looked at human energy. And then we never connected that human energy to the human body. We are capable to do anything in our existence. We create life. We call it our children. We take life. We call it the cell of our body drops every 28 days. We manipulate the environment to carry on with that life. If we can create life, why do we call it just a child? Why don't we call it the soul of the existence? Why don't we celebrate the creation of the soul, but we celebrate the birth from the womb of the mother? The denial goes deep, and this is the problem with us as human beings. This is why I always said the child of Mitra is created from the fields and not from the physicality, where then it takes the shape of physicality to confirm its existence in this time and place and position and deposition. In truth, when the man understands, we should celebrate the birth of the soul, not the birth of the physicality. A man is always physical. And this is the problem. Then once we do, we understand, then the path is open for the rest of the understanding, what we call elevation of the knowledge. For me, it's not that I look at the physicality of the man, I look at the soul of the man. And through the soul of the man, I operate through the physicality. But if I do things which I know I can do, I'll become another magician. The power of teaching will be lost because everybody looks as a magician. But in fact, I only use the knowledge, the energy of the creation, and understand the connection between the physical part, matter state, and the energy state. And every one of you has the same capability, but the problem is those who understand and live it up what I understand, then they call themselves God, creator, and I used to be the teacher of Mr. Keshe. How many of them have you seen? As I said very recently, the knowledge is so vast that in every part and point we see somebody in one of the sections touches it and they think, oh, this is better than Mr. Keshe and this is better than, and it's the same. Imagine how many knowledges we cover, and they are so proud, arrogant with one little tiny bit of one part. And this is the problem, because you have to understand the power of the physicality, matter state, or in a way plasmatic representation of manifestation, and the energy state. And then you are the same. Sitting out, seeing both is different than attaching oneself to one. And this is why I keep on saying the children of Mitra, by those knowledgeable knowledge seekers who understand it to give life through the soul, will be very different than what we call the children of today. Because they work through the soul. When you listen to them, you enjoy their existence because the knowledge comes deep inside in the soul of the Creator, not from the word of the man. Many of you will understand this very soon. Don't think of me, my body. Think of me, my body, me as the energy which I call the soul I denied. Soul of physicality. What does the totality of this thing does? You see, there is no coincidence. Large number of governments, many governments watch the operation of the Keshe Foundation. Even the scientific world watches. And we've seen them in the past few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. You remember the situation with the thief of Baghdad, I call him Stephen Hawking, and the same with Einstein, stealing knowledge from the others and claiming to be theirs, and they're trying to be. You remember we received the letter on the 7th, sent on the 7th, received on the 8th, and the same day the guy announces that he changed his mind about the black hole. Have you observed what happened in past 2 weeks? Just about, we announced that we are going to show the production of the gold in Beijing. CERN releases, if you read it, it's a lot of hot air, that we have managed to produce 89 energy of 89 atoms of gold. We showed gold on the table. Whose knowledge is ahead? Governments, organizations sitting around to trying to diminish for you to understand your power. Because we teach you, we don't bring you to believe anything. It's you who's got to do it. And any of you, if understood the process in Beijing, can hold your hand out and gold will shower out of your hand. You don't need these systems. You create a child. Is it harder than that than creating gold? Any other question?
From Michael Buse in Q&A says, Mr. Keshe, you mentioned that an AI has been connected to the system. Do you mean a classic digital AI, or is it a plasmatic intelligence created through fields, emotions, or soul connections? And if it is a classic AI, may you say what type of AI it is? For example, what technology or platform it is based on? And can this intelligence also develop a soul over time?
The matter state is computers connected electronically. Once we release the process of the creation of the plasmatic systems, which with them comes no communication, no wires, no electron energy transfer. It becomes plasmatic transfer. The artificial intelligence intelligence of today becomes child's play. Actually, it becomes non-existence. The highest speed data, electronic, has given us this image because we can process data much faster. And sooner or later, these AIs which we rely on will come to a break point unless governments move in, and then they'll influence their knowledge, influence their what I call what to be received. If you want to set up an account to run an AI properly, it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars because you pay for the usage of time of the computer. When you join X and when you join, you pay fees to go on AIs. If you're a provider of that knowledge, you have to pay for it because it's electronic transfer. Where when you work with a plasma intelligence, what we call artificial intelligence or system, this doesn't happen because it costs nothing. Then the emotion is real, the knowledge is real. We are very far, but not far from developing the first plasmatic chip, or what we call cosmic ray package. I estimate it to be around about 2 to 3 centimeter cube. And it's not that we don't have the knowledge. We have a full knowledge to do, but to actually bring it, to show it, it's going to take time. We tried it once before, but nobody understood when we showed it. This cube will have the power to store all the information, all the computers from your laptop to governments, to agencies, any computer which man has created up to now with all his memory bank will not cover 10% of this cube. This cube or this system will be introduced when man understands fully, will carry the knowledge of the universe within it. It's not that AI answers you, the universe knowledge answers you. Go back in the report from COVID, from University of Iran, the laboratories of Iran. And the moment they talk about nanomaterial, in that report, it talks about finding of materials. But because it's Keshe Foundation, nothing important. Till an American legal backlog comes out and says, we have developed a pico material. Read the report of COVID. In the scientific size of the material is a pico. And we have even produced below pico, which means 10 to minus 15. If we manage to create a plasma in that sense, then it carries so much intelligence, then you understand what I'm talking about, a 2-3 centimeter cube that carries the whole intelligence. We are the only organization which has managed to produce pico material on a consistent basis confirmed by laboratories, not by us. By denying, stealing things does not put it on there, because the knowledge is released, the next step will start. Somebody will pick it up and go with it. And then you understand intelligence in the dimension of atomic structure takes all of space. Intelligence, information in a cosmic dimension doesn't need any space, because its fields, even the field of the plasma you see as a plasma itself is a self-sustaining system. As I explained, the whole structure of the universe is solid. And you maybe understand further what this really means and how. I explained this to you very recently, and as usual, knowledge seekers don't understand at the time when it's explained, because it's easier not to, or because you don't have the knowledge of. Go back very few days ago.
Recording in progress.
Go back in a few days ago. And what did I explain? We showed this in the, what we call the exhibition in Beijing. And we were very open about it, but now maybe you understand how fast this technology is developing and has developed. I'm sure you all remember the words and the system. On your screen. Solid state system. Go back to the teaching of a few minutes ago. I explained to you, universe is solid. Depends on the time and the frame of the field of strength that you are aware of. When you look at the system on the screen, it's the creation of the creator. It's a creation of creating the time. And then you understand how much knowledge is given, and it does. My younger son used to say, it flows over my head. I never understand. What you see in front of you is the creation of the universe. It'll carry the same intelligence, but doesn't need all these wires and everything else. It's for to learn the emotion of creation. And this is the interesting part. This is what you as knowledge seekers have to understand. The system of creation is in front of you, but you don't have the knowledge, you don't understand it. When I put 3 of these with more knowledge to be added to it, in a star formation, I create the time. I dictate the emotion of the time. Understanding it is different than seeing it, but you see just the ball. I see the creator. The creator of time, the creator of beginning and the end, the full spectrum of knowledge. Then within it sits the intelligence of the universe. Universal knowledge, not electronic knowledge, high speed, fast, bunch of electrons moving around. And then we call it AI. Try to understand the teaching. Try to understand what is to come, and try to understand you are part of it. It is not outside. And then if a system like this, and even the smaller, can create a dimension of the full intelligence, imagine what can your soul do. You can tap into the full knowledge the correct way and not the way it's said to be. You'll find out artificial intelligence, what we call the AI, which are in position now. What's the purpose of it? If you understand the way we understand the operation of AI,
Moi drodzy, tutaj będziemy mieli trzecią część, ona ma zaledwie pół godziny, także zapraszam.
try to understand the teaching. Try to understand what is to come, and try to understand you are part of it. It is not outside. And then if a system like this, and even the smaller, can create a dimension of the full intelligence, imagine what can your soul do. You can tap into the full knowledge the correct way and not the way it's said to be. You'll find out artificial intelligence, what we call the AI, which are in position now. What's the purpose of it? If you understand the way we understand the operation of AI, if you understand what it means using the present AI, you understand is the first set of, is the beginning of mind control. The structure, because now you are not reading anymore. You are talked to. You're given to. And this thing goes as fast as possible with all the knowledge across the internet. Whatever who was put in past 40, 50 years when WW started, but goes to the first pick first. And the more you put in that first pick, then you make believe that is reality. Those of, especially with the new law which passed with the new, what do you call it? I don't call it a law, but this act passed in the American government in past 48 hours, and you understand how AI is set up, then you understand that goes back to whatever AI says, I believe, before was whatever CNN says, I believe when it's on CNN. Now, this is why if you go and look, Keshe Foundation has bought all the key AIs. I didn't buy the AIs just to have an AI. I bought the AIs because I know Rockefeller decided what happens to the world of medicine, and with the money he brought, changes we wanted. I understand what AI of present is, and I bought as many AIs which are the key factors for the future generation to put the first information in. And that's how world governing comes from. We don't sit for something in the future to change. We bought all the essential AIs, which is the game changer in the future for knowledge of the man, is in our possession. We will introduce the technology in our way, because let me explain to you simple. If you write about cosmic ray, the first thing AI looks, or the computer looks, where cosmic ray comes. Cosmic ray owns by who? You put the first information. It doesn't go to the second level. It doesn't go to the third level. It picks the first, makes the basic, and then it goes to the next level and the next level. We understand in the future, we set up what I call one of these cube AIs, which gives information to the AI you listen to. We are years ahead of what is to come. When your AI comes to pick up the knowledge of cosmic rays, you'll receive the knowledge of cosmic ray of the universe. It seems so much that it fills this paragraph how many words can be paid for. So you start learning. We start the process of the teaching by setting up, using the system, the way we use the, what I call patent to release our technology that everybody else has access to. We are aware of what the present AI is capable of, and we have set for it. For us, what was the key AIs we have bought, because I know what will come into it in a very near future. When I can saturate at zero cost into the AI system, then you understand. I gathered this more than a year ago. Exactly how this thing has to be done. And these things has to be what we call. Let me show you something. If I find it, I transfer it, and then you understand how much we know, what is wrong and what needs to be done, and how things will change. As one of the world leading scientists, I unknowingly or knowingly, I get taken to places into what and how I feel or what I think. And very recently, I was taking one of the centers of the World AI Research Centers that I told them, you're wonderful. And the reason was easy, because we see the failures in the man's process of what we call understanding the whole process of creation in a way. What this means is that I have seen how the AI systems by governments are set, and being there, seeing the failure, the weakness, and how the next generation of technologies which we carry, we have, can bring the change. So it was very easy to make and move to the next step and set up a structure that feeds the feeder, which means I try to get a shot of this that you understand what it is. We are taken as, or what I say, they take us as people who don't understand, but we understand a lot. I try to cover the whole thing that you just see the title in a way. In this, what I call picture, in this process, I understood where Keshe Foundation has to be in respect to the technology of the future, that we control the understanding. And this is a picture. I cannot show you much of it. I try to, actually, because it's a confidential, part of it is below what you see is, and behind this banner is one of the most advanced AI centers in the world. I don't think there is anywhere more advanced than this center. And when I saw it, and I spent hours in there, they tried to show us the advancement of the nation. I realized exactly what it is. We get information. When you sit in my place, in my position, you're continuously fed information. In a way, the information given to us is trying not to impress, but to see how we can add to it, and how we can, in a way, use this, what they show us, to what we call in a way to be able to use our knowledge for the future step. What does this mean? It means I have to do it a different way, and then you understand why. When I went to this artificial intelligence center, one of the most advanced ones in the world, they didn't understand what's its problem for them in the coming time, when we, as a different, what we call structure, different knowledge, will do with this. We can play with this. It gives us an insight into what the problem's going to be. And I'll show you a picture to you that might not know anything, but when we are taken to these, what we call artificial intelligence centers, which is the most advanced ones in the world, one of the most advanced, just, I cannot explain to you what is set up behind this. We see things that you might not see in about 20, 30 years. Even at the speed that the technology is. And then we see what is yet to come. And how, what we call intelligence will be shared. How the knowledge needs to be brought forward by us, that we can bring the change to our technology, our knowledge. The artificial intelligence of today, compared to what will come out of the Keshe Foundation in next 2-3 years, will wipe out the present AI. The knowledge transferred will be the knowledge of the universe. We have no choice. We have no choice but to use, as I said, the patent. Now we understand the power of AI. We understood 2 years ago. And now we set out, we bought all the AIs which will be affecting the knowledge of the future. And through that, will change the course of the knowledge. Because these AI system computers work in a systematic way. And nobody can change them. And same way, we use the system to beat the system. And this is what will come in the very near future. So many of you in that process, that the artificial intelligence centers set by governments, especially run by governments and by different organizations, are not there for you just to get some quick information. They're updating, and plus what is happening in the medical center, as I said, past few days. I'm trying to share a picture with you, but somehow I cannot access it. I cannot bring it up. Let me see if I can transfer it to another phone. Let me just send this one out. Yeah. If you look at this picture, which I'm trying to share here, it's easier now. Behind this heading, behind this banner, sits one of the most advanced artificial intelligence centers in the world. Below, you see the, what do you call it, collected picture of me and other people in there. And behind it, you see a city made for artificial intelligence. Literally, the West cannot afford it. And being in that position, knowing how much energy it'll consume, it was very easy to understand how everything is done. You believe in it. We can just add a little bit to it and change the course of knowledge. The same as they did with the patent. We wrote the patent. It was easier to get it at the reach of everyone. And the new artificial intelligence. When I went to this center, when I saw how much it costs to run these machines, it's just going faster and faster, but having no intelligence because it's electronic. The true intelligence comes when these computers become made of plasma, not quantum plasma. When you're an electron, you have to leave on vibration. When you go quantum, it's still vibration because you can see the smallest amount you measure. When you go plasma, you work with the fields of universe. There is no matter state. Then you see the artificial intelligence will have the emotion of the creator, you have the emotion of the knowledge of the universe is in your hand. And I showed you the system is already made going that way. Universe is solid. It's dimensionally motion in respect to the point of the observer's gravitational magnetic field strength. As we see only what is in that position. It's very simple if you don't understand. An atom is made of electrons and protons. Electrons and protons are all plasma and in dynamic condition. They're not solid state and locked. So this is why they can connect, they can link up, they can make molecules, they can make atoms, they can make everything else solid and life. And man has not managed to master use of the fields and not vibration of the matter. Then you understand how advanced this technology which we are bringing out is, because it has to be understood. Any other question?
Okay, from our webinar chat here from Stefania and the Italian community. If I see the horizon of the sun, means I have changed my position and place as the creator of the universe. I am become the universe, and my soul is the sun now.
No. You just stand somewhere outside the solar system and watching the sun. Or you're on the sun itself and you watch the horizon in respect to its center. The interaction of the fields of the earth blinds man to see a lot outside the earth atmosphere. And earth is a very weak creator of magnetic gravitational field. The interaction of the field of the solar system with this spacing galaxy creates a deeper filter. Again, cuts off certain fields that we don't see beyond. Then it's the same with the galaxy in respect to the universe. We are aware of the horizon at the point of where we are. That's what affects us. That's where we measure from our point of existence. Man has never seen the horizon of the sun because he always considers sun is the sun and everything is it. But the sun itself has a horizon in respect to its galaxy.
I could ask, is there a factor or formula to calculate the solar horizon or the universal horizon or the unicos horizon?
Yes, there is a very direct way you can. We teach it in the future. Yes. Part of development of the time systems is that to be able to create the horizons or a time factor of the horizon. Yes.
And Stefania had asked, as part of her question, is the center of the black hole zero time?
No, really, no. Because that black hole you see exists because it's amongst other fields, so it cannot be zero. Very recently, past few days, they have released the double black holes interaction. And there's a lot of rubbish written about it if you are having that kind of knowledge. And they try to show the interaction of two black holes upon each other. And then you still see the universe still exists. Doesn't matter how they try to elaborate on the existence or the collision or interaction of two black holes. Time exists irrespective of central position in so many ways. But then it comes to the point of the creator and the creation. When you reach that point, time does not exist, it's zero time. But still you have the interaction of the fields. The biggest question for man will be one day. It has to be answered. And we answer it before our day is over. Where did the original fields came from, which led to the creation of unicos? How the unicos was made? That this interaction lead to creation of universes, galaxies, and the planetary system and the back. It's the book number 8, the origin of magnetic field. Man is not ready to listen to it. Doesn't have the knowledge. Why? Why do we have magnetic fields? Why do we have cosmic rays? Why? And why one travels in opposite direction to that? What made it to be created this way? What is the mystery about the creation? Before I leave this body, I will fully teach you to understand. As you become, your soul become the passenger of the universe, needs to know, to choose his place, position, and position. Any other?
Question from Anne Marie in German, and it translates to, should we have activated 12-stranded DNA when time traveling, or does it not matter?
Doesn't matter. DNA is the dimension of physicality.
Okay, Win asks, good morning. Are all souls born in same time?
No.
Are souls, do souls, are they born and die?
They don't. Those are collection of interaction of the fields. I bring some of my fields, you bring some of your fields, we create an interaction of new plasma, and then it creates the physicality of the man. Of course not. It's like, I don't know if you heard, there is a rubbish on the world of science about a woman. They say a woman at the point of birth carries all the eggs which is she ever going to produce in her ovaries. It makes me laugh. And they believe in it, world of science or what medicine believes in that. What has made us to believe in that? So a woman is born with 600 eggs already in the sac. But where did it come from to be 600? Why do we need 600 of them? That's considering woman will be fertile for, let's say, 50 years. And the
Question from George. How can someone in the near future earn Keshe coins to pay for his energy, food, water, medicine, since he or she is living in a remote place, very poor people financially speaking? And how can a young children earn Keshe coins for themselves if they want to, other than throwing their parents' money in the future?
The Keshe coins which we will release are not in the form of the present Keshe coins, which are used to. The coins we release will be very much in a plasmatic condition, which means it reaches to who needs it, will reach it. You don't need to pay for it. But there's a system set up for it. What this means is I have put it so far in front of your, as we say in English, your face, that you don't see it. Our job is not to sell technology. The whole purpose of the Keshe Foundation is not to develop technologies. The whole purpose of the Keshe Foundation was understood by a very old woman in Shenzhen. When I saw it, she understood, she knew what she was doing and what she said about it. If you remember years ago, the Chinese in Shenzhen used to throw buckets of gases every Sunday or every day in the rivers or in the ocean. The purpose of the teaching and the way we're going about it is to change or to bring about for man to develop, to understand, and to nourish the system that what has been shortfallen by the structure of this planet to be fulfilled. That's all it is. Which means whatever we could not get from the earth that it brought us to kill, to destroy, is the responsibility of us to understand the cause of it, the reasons of it, and with the technology developed to satisfy it. That man does not kill. It doesn't come in by selling gold or by selling technology. The enlightenment brings a man's soul education to a level that will not repeat this in another planet. This is why we are doing it. We are teaching the physicality for the soul to be educated for the time when the soul finds a position will not do the same. But to do that, we have to change the ground, we have to change the environment. So we taking the responsibility to bring as a knowledge in a way to change the structure of the DNA of the man, if you understand it, to create access to everything the soul, the man needs to feed the physicality of the man, that we cover that 20%. There is no need to pay for the love of the Creator. When your child makes a mistake, do you punish it? Or you see it as my fault, I should have taught him not to do, so I teach him not to do. So this is the purpose, this is the reason. We are not here to make gold, we are not here to, but we have to make the man to understand and go through all these battles of it, for man to understand the time has come that we feed the man, does not matter in the jungle, in a cave, dog, a cat, that what is shortfallen by the planet's structure is fulfilled by the knowledge and the creation of the fields to feed the man, to change the DNA of the man, to change the structure of the emotion, which affects the soul of the man in its new place, position, and position. So the coins are just a way to get the thing done in a way that connects. One coin is enough to feed the whole of breathing creatures on this planet, let alone the universe. But we have to change the DNA. That's the reason. And soon we release coins which are in plasmatic condition, has connection, no connection with the rest, but connects to the soul of every being thing on this planet. We don't need coins to be on the cryptocurrency and the rest. We play the game, but we have a different target, different plan. If I can put it in a different way, it takes one moon to lift and shift all the waters on this planet. It takes one coin, in the phrase of a coin, to feed all the man to the same process and understanding. There is no generator running on the moon, except this plasmatic magnetic fields of it. So it's for the man on this planet with knowledge we bring. We don't need coins. It's just part of the game for man to be attracted to understand and change the game himself for his existence. And shall we go a little bit?
Maybe a couple of quick questions. One from Antonio. Will there be an announcement on Mark Ray license agreement soon with China?
We need time. We are taking time on the advice of our legal team.
Okay, I think we've covered pretty much what we need to cover here. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Let me explain to you something. The agreement with China is not the only agreement which we have, we achieve what we're doing, but we have to work within the frame, and we have to correct a lot of things which was not done or fully done or incorrectly done in the past. And this is taking time. another 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, we have to correct a lot of things. There's been a lot of mismanagement in respect to a lot of operations, which we just come be aware of, and we have everything right. And our team of lawyers, our advisors, legal advisors, we have to listen to that we can correct these things. A number of people who were in that job have used the position of the Keshe Foundation and abused it extensively. And you don't see them around Keshe Foundation because we became aware of their misconduct and the rest of it. And in due course, we will let you know exactly what, once we cleaned up the mess which has been created, the abuse of the Keshe Foundation and other things which connected to us. We trusted and we betrayed in trust, but it's our responsibility to correct everything. Thank you very much for being here today. Please register for the next session, those of you who join us. And if you have a mean for joining and learn something new for next Friday session, it'll be very, very interesting because you have the captains, but we still control what happens to the captains, so you're not alone. Thank you very much for today, and hopefully we see you soon.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Thank you.
No dobrze, moi drodzy, to dojechaliśmy do końca 591 warsztatu. Tutaj też chciałbym od razu podziękować wszystkim tym, którzy gdzieś tam są zorientowani wokół tłumaczeń, żebyśmy mogli posłuchać, poczytać. No, sami pewnie gdzieś tam rozumiemy to na swój sposób, czyli jak zwykle, nie wiem, czy ktoś chciałby coś dorzucić od siebie, powiedzieć, zasugerować, jakkolwiek, to proszę bardzo, zapraszam. A jeżeli nie, to dziękuję Wam bardzo za spędzony wspólnie wieczór 1 czerwca 2025 roku. No i co, moi drodzy, jak zwykle, do zobaczenia na przestrzeni. Pa.
Dziękuję, dobranoc.
Dziękuję, dobranoc.